Good afternoon, everyone. This is Megan from GoGPS, and today I'm going to be focusing on running an exception report. Okay, so an exception report is a report that shows you how your fleet is doing in the sense of them breaking rules that are set up in the system. So we're going to go ahead and manually run this report. We're going to start by clicking on the Rules and Groups section and choose the Exceptions section. And then we're going to go ahead and fill out our date period under the options, okay? So I'm going to choose for last week, then I'm going to go ahead and select the vehicles. So you can choose individual vehicles if you'd like, or you can select all. So right now, just to get as much information as possible, I'm going to go ahead and select all. Then it comes down to choosing the rules. So your system may not have as many rules turned on as mine because we do a lot of training and testing inside of the system, but I'm going to go ahead and click select all, again, just to get as much information as possible. So from here, I'm going to go ahead and click apply changes. Now, before I do that, if for by any reason you end up clicking off to the side and that box goes away, just go ahead and click the options drop down and there's your information. Okay. So I'm going to click the apply changes section. And it's going to go ahead and give me a breakdown of every single rule, excuse me, and tell me how many counts for each rule, which is over here on the far right. Okay, there's a count. It'll tell me how many vehicles broke that rule, so how many violations were there, and how long it lasted for in time and distance. Okay. So this is just the list version. Now, if we wanted to get into something specific like speeding, I can click the speeding rule and then choose the name of the vehicle. Okay, so right now we only have one vehicle breaking this rule. And it'll show me the date and the time of the occurrence. Okay, it'll tell me how long it lasted for in time as well as distance, the address. Okay, so this vehicle is based in our out of our Florida warehouse. Okay, but my specific user is set up to be in kilometers. Okay, so to the far right, that's when it gets into how fast the vehicle is going versus the posted road speed. Okay, so that's quite a bit there. Now, if I was to change this into miles, I'm going to go ahead and choose my email address at the top corner, select options, and change that over to miles. And I'm just doing this at this moment just so we can take a look at that rule a little bit better and see the comparison. Okay, so there it is. So that's how fast the vehicle is going, and that's the posted road speed. Now, if you're unsure of how that kind of happened, I mean, it could be things like an on-ramp, an off-ramp. So for like onto a highway, the way we would do that is by the far right corner, clicking that pin drop and really getting into specifics. So it's going to pull up those violations on the map for you. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit to see if it looks like an on-ramp or an off-ramp. It does not. Just by taking a quick little peek at it, it looks like the vehicle was on the highway for quite some time at this point. Okay. And by hovering over top of the vehicle, it tells me how fast the vehicle was going versus the posted road speed, and then when it starts to break the violation. Okay. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit more and go to the next violation, which is over here in red. Let's see. No, looks like on the highway for some time. So let's see. Same thing. Okay. You can hover along and it'll tell you how fast the vehicle was going versus the posted road speed. Okay, so that's just a quick overview. If you have any questions about how the violation happened, it could be that the vehicle went under an overpass and kind of had a bit of a jump in a speed. And that's just one example. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and click the back button and back once more, and it's going to bring me up that list again. Okay, so what I'm going to do once this loads is I'm going to put this into a report format. So at the top of the screen, there's a little pie chart with the word view. I'm going to click that drop down, and it gives me two options. I can either do summary, which is just more or less a count of how many violations. It doesn't tell you who, what, where, why, and when sort of thing, or details. Okay. For the most part, a lot of our clients will go ahead and choose details and choose the advanced version. Again, the more information you get, the better. And if you find that it's too much, you can go ahead to just the basic detailed report. But it's always good to see what's available, and you can customize the report to remove specific columns if you don't need to see them. Okay, so we're going to give this a quick second here to load. All right. So keep in mind, this is only for a specific date range, which it'll pop up and tell us in a quick second here. There we go. So it's awfully small, but that's okay. All right. So it's showing us here on this report. So the report is created September 11th, 2018 for last week. Okay. So September 2nd to September 8th. Depending on how your user is set up, depends on how it shows your distance units and speed units. I just changed my user over to showing in miles because we do have some American vehicles in here, and I don't mind showing that. Okay, so we can see it gives you the name of the vehicle, tells you what group they belong to, what rule they broke, okay, the location of where it happened. If they were at a zone, it'll tell you that as well. It'll give you the date, the start time, how long it lasted for, total amount of distance, and then any extra details. Okay, so we're seeing here for the PRS, which is posted road speed 11 or greater over half mile. It shows you the max speed for this specific rule that was broken was he did 68 miles per hour, and the posted road speed was 50 miles per hour. So that's an automatic breaking of this exception. Okay. So from here, what we're going to do is at the top of the screen, there's a little PDF or an Excel option. I'm going to choose the Excel. Give it a quick second to load. And what we're going to do is we're going to open it up and kind of filter out things that we don't necessarily need. So for an example, we can do a breakdown of just a specific driver. So as we can see here, Brady has a lot going on. And there's no really separation between Brady and the next vehicle. So we can put a separation between the two of them. Open this up. Okay, so it might take a couple seconds. Again, there is a lot of information. And if you're doing a large date range, so if you're doing this for a full month or for, a couple months and you're manually doing it, it will take a few to kind of process and open up the information. Again, a lot of clients will go ahead and have this report automated and it'll email out to you on a regular basis, whether it be daily, weekly, or monthly. Okay, so this is the report and it looks almost the exact same as how we saw it inside of the software. So what I'm going to suggest doing is choosing the summary option and customizing it how you would like. Okay, so all I did was I clicked the summary tab at the bottom of the page and clicked on the title as driver. You can choose any of these titles and it will pop up that pivot field table on the right-hand side. So things that we can get rid of are first name and last name and driver. We don't necessarily need that, but again, depends on what your company needs. You may want to keep that, okay? Some of our users or clients will break everything down by rule. So they want to see how many people broke a specific rule. So all you have to do is to have it filtered and broken down by a specific item, whether it's a device or by a rule, is you would click the header and just drag and drop it over. Okay. So if we do all Brady's son in one section, it'll tell me the rule, and then it'll tell me the details, and then it'll tell me the distance, duration, and then it will give me a total at the bottom. Okay. If we wanted to do this by rule, you would click the rule option and move it over. Okay. And then going to right click on the title device, and I want to remove the subtitle because I really want to put the subtotal rule on the actual rule. Okay. So I want to get a total of how many distance and duration for speeding. Okay. Same thing for asset utilization, outside of zone. I want to get all that information. Okay. But again, it is customizable for you. It does not have to look like this. If you are happy with what you're seeing here, that works for me as well. Okay. Back to the summary tab here. To the far right, you'll notice that there isn't any location. You can add that item by selecting it. And there's our location of where it actually happened. Okay. From here, you do have the option to save and or print. Okay, so file and then save. There we go. So you do have that option. Okay. I'm just going to go back to the database here. Okay. So that was the Excel version. We do have the option to open this up into a PDF. The difference between the two is Excel you can customize, PDF you cannot. It just opens up as is. Okay. Now, if we wanted to select a different date range from this point here. Instead of just doing last week, we would just choose the options drop down and select a different date range. So last month and apply changes. And then it will go ahead and keep the report and everything in the same format that we want, and it will go ahead and run and give us all that information. Okay, so again, the longer period of time that you're selecting, the longer it'll take to load into your software. Okay, so there we go. It's starting to load, which is great. Okay. And then again, it will only show you just the first 3 pages in the preview, which is what we're looking at right now. You will need to open it up into PDF or Excel to see the full information. Okay. Yeah, still spinning on my end here, but that's okay. All right, so that more or less covers the exceptions just inside of the system. If you're unsure of the rules that you have set up or how to turn this on so that you automatically get this as an email notification on a regular basis, please feel free to contact myself or the service department, and we'd be more than happy to help you. I'm going to wrap this up for today, so I hope everybody has a great day.